What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Crafters. Well, it's not really System Crafters Live. That's usually the Friday stream, but this is the hack sessions variety of the weekly System Crafter streams. As always, I'm David Wilson, and today we're going to do a little bit of hacking on something different than what we normally do on the hack session streams. Typically, we're working on EXWM, but today we're going to do something that's an idea that I had. Sorry, I'm hearing my daughter screaming in the background. Something upset her this morning, and she's going a little bit nuts. Yes, anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about what the idea is in just a second. But before that, I want to say hello to some people who are joining. Whoops, let me jump over here. Hello to GK Sudo, Marduk, Daigo, Robert, Gavin, Luis, and John. Let's see. Yeah, so Sherry in the chat is back, and according to Garjola, Sherry may actually be a bot after all. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but it sounds like this may be a bot, so we'll see how that goes. Hello to Mjolnir's Revenge, or Mjolnir, Arui, Suvadeep, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Will, GK Sudo, Captain No Beard, Mark. Glad you all decided to join today. So, what I was referring to in the description for the stream is that I've started doing some more reworking on my personal Emacs configuration, and I was sort of having some frustration with it yesterday because I'm starting to migrate my config over to setup.el, and to use setup.el effectively, you have to do macro expansion to look at the output, or you don't really have to, but it's good if you do, if you're trying to learn how to use it. But you have to use macro expansion to look at the output of macros, and setup.el requires that you have lexical bindings turned on. So whenever I was trying to expand those macros, and inside of my org mode configuration or org babel based configuration, literate config, it wouldn't work because literate config, or geez, my brain is not working this morning. Lexical bindings were not turned on. So you can fix that pretty easily in org mode by just, setting the variable lexical binding to true. But then you have the problem that if you open up the org special edit to edit in a more eLisp friendly pane, that's not set to lexical binding. However, Alpha Papa in System Crafters IRC did remind me that there is a lexical T property you can set on code blocks, which will turn that on. So that did actually help that situation a little bit. However, there's still the other issue of, if you're using auto tangling on save, my config is really slow whenever it tries to tangle out the configuration. In fact, let's just see really quickly. I'm just gonna change something real fast and then save it. And I'm gonna say, let's see, tangling. How long is it gonna be until it finishes? Okay, yeah, that was probably, what, 5-6 seconds? That's way too long if you're trying to save, and I also have super save mode turned on. So anytime I change focus to another window or switch buffers, it will automatically save that buffer. So every time I try to switch buffers to something else or go to a different window, I have to wait 6 seconds before I actually have control of Emacs again. So it's kind of a pain, and it just got me thinking, okay, what are my alternatives? Obviously, I could try to make the whole org babel configuration situation better by doing some things like, let's say, asynchronously tangling the file, but I'm using my .crafter package, so I have to find a way to make that do async tangling, which I've tried a little bit. We'll see how that goes, but I was thinking, okay, so what else can I do? Maybe if I wanted to edit my configuration, or at least the Emacs parts of my configuration, just as an Emacs Lisp file and not have to deal with the org mode file. Started looking into how I would go about that. And the thing is, I would still like to have the literate org config that could be put on my website so people can take a look at it, because that's pretty helpful. I send links to people to certain parts of my configuration all the time. But if I'm writing my configuration only in Emacs Lisp, then I don't have that by default. So I started looking into how I could potentially take an eLisp-based Emacs configuration and generate an org mode file from that much in the same way as, or let's say, to have a result that looks similar to what I'm doing right now with an actual literate configuration file. And there is one package called el2org that makes it possible to do this. However, it looks like that is only geared towards the commentary part of an eLisp package and not actually doing literate literate programming where you can kind of pull code blocks out and put them into a larger org file. So I looked at this for a moment, then realized that it wasn't going to do what I needed. So, or at least I think it's not going to do what I needed. So I thought maybe it might be fun to try to write our own solution for this today. Basically, take an eLisp file and then be able to generate an org mode file from it, and be able to use that for generating a literate configuration website. All right, so let me respond to some questions. I think I saw some things here. All right, let's see. Will says, first time live viewer here, longest time channel lurker. Well, nice to have you here, Will. Let's see. Hey, Wind Up Boy and Ashraz. Crazy Chicken, hello. Heath says, I'm a bot until I get my next cup of coffee. Yeah, I know how that goes. Stij, I guess. Hello from Nepal. Thanks for revolutionizing my Emacs usage with your content. As a result of superpowering my org mode, I've gotten into academic research writing. Thanks for boosting my career. Well, that's pretty cool. I think org mode and Emacs are extremely good tools for academic research writing. There's a plethora of packages that are available for helping with that. So if you go check out John Kitchen's YouTube channel, let's see, John Kitchen YouTube. He's an academic who uses Emacs and makes videos basically talking about how to do certain things, research related, I think. So that would be useful, I think, for that sort of thing. Let's see. Gavin says, what does lexical do? It just changes the mode for how variables are captured into closures inside of your code, which is kind of too high level, but I don't really want to get into a full discussion about lexical bindings right at the moment. GK Suda says that's a lot of blocks to tangle. That's true. It is a lot of blocks. And one thing I have been thinking about doing, or actually I've been trying to do for a while, but I never finished the job, is to break up my configuration into more org files for let's say from all my development configuration for different languages that I use, and some of them I don't use that often, so I probably should just delete the config. But for some of those things, I should move them into like a development.org file so that stuff can be tangled only when necessary, because I very rarely change my development configuration, but I more often change things that are part of my core Emacs config, like, you know, major key bindings, or, you know, completion system setup, or things like that. So I think that the hot path, the most frequently changed configuration file, should be small if you're going to use a tangling system like this. Chitish says, I got rid of auto tangling because of the slow saving thing. Yeah, it's really frustrating, but I think there's ways to solve that particular problem, and I want to try to do it in .crafter.el. Using the async package by John Weagley is one way to do that. I tried doing that this morning, and I could not get it to work perfectly, but I think I will if I have enough time to tweak it. Basically, the idea there is that you launch a secondary Emacs session that runs just a specific block of code to do something in the background so that it doesn't block your current Emacs session. And I think that will actually work. Jean says, I gave up on pure literate config about a year ago. Illiterate config using use package is just as expressive and never runs the risk of being out of sync with documentation. That's true. I mean, it is nicer if you can have all your stuff sort of in Emacs Lisp and not have to worry too much. However, it doesn't have a good display on things like GitHub or on your own configuration site unless you come up with a custom way to render it, which, you know, could be a fun project. I mean, it's sort of what we're doing right now, but we'll see how that goes. Hey, Vladislav. Phone call. Let's see. I think the best is to have init.el config file with outline minor mode on. That's one thing we're going to do today. GK Suda says, I have init.el org babel load file. The org file is to no more tangling. The problem with that, though, is it makes loading Emacs slower, and I'm trying to keep my load time to a minimum. Chitish says, I use orgref by Kitchen, and he has a blog called Cymax for that. Yep, that's definitely the same person. Designer Nasser says, you're doing great work for the Emacs community. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, Ashraz is pulling up the info links as always. Thanks, Ashraz. Let's see. Sherry's asking some interesting questions. Dustin says, took the leap into Geeks a few days ago. How long did it take you to get to a system working with most of your preferred tools? It took me a few weeks, to be honest. The first time I got set up with Geeks, it took, like the first week was me just sort of stumbling around trying to figure out what to do. And then there was another period of adjustment, like maybe a week or so, where I tried to find replacements for things I had been using. But a lot of that was me trying to figure out how to do a lot of the things I was doing in with other tools using Emacs instead, so it made it easier. Ashra says there are a lot of literal configurations, which were basically headline plus code. Then there's Techosaurus configuration, which is the other extreme. Yeah, Techosaurus config is pretty awesome. Windup Boy says it would be nice if Emacs could detect that there were no changes in the org file target for tangling, so it was idempotent. I don't remember how to pronounce that. Yeah, that would be nice. Shtij says there's a org mode branch for optimizing large files. That would be cool if it was more optimal for doing tangling, because that is sort of the thing that's slow to me. Hey, F Society. So, yeah, so what we're going to try to do is take a look at the output of this current file. And if you're interested in what I've been doing with setup.el, I'm going to do either a stream or a video about that pretty soon, but I've been having fun converting things over, and it's been working pretty well. I mean, I was tweaking my config this morning before the stream, which is pretty dangerous, but I was still able to load it up whenever I set things up here, so that was kind of nice. Alrighty, so what I'll do is jump over to the init.el file, .emacs, init.el, and then this is the output file of my org mode document. So what I want to do is save this. I'm going to use Control X, Control W, and save this to init new.el, just as a way to have that save there and start hacking on it independently without the org file overriding it. Hi, Rustum, Sigwin user. Okay, that's cool. Have you used MSys2? Because I find MSys2 to be better than Sigwin. Crazy Chicken says, hopefully you were tweaking with Emacs so you don't mess much up. No, I should have been, but I wasn't. I think in the future when I'm tweaking this stuff on stream, I probably will use Emacs to load my own config inside of my config, which sounds kind of weird. It's kind of like Inception, configception. All right, so the goal would be to have an init.el file that has headings inside of it. And as someone mentioned before, I can't remember who it was, there is an outline mode, which is kind of like the fundamental basis of org mode, but org mode has a lot of stuff built on top of it. But the outline mode itself actually allows you to do outlines in other types of documents that are not org files, so like text files or even Emacs Lisp. So if you put 3 semicolons on a line, let's see, do I need to make this any bigger? Let me just check my screen. Here we go. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Text, scale, increase. I don't remember what my key bindings are for that. Here we go. Okay, so a 3-level heading. Let's see. Initial performance settings. And then if I go here, 3 semicolons, native compilation. I probably should just use the same headings that I have in my org file. So let's just jump right back over to the org file and look at those. So startup performance, native compilation. There we go. So that says native compilation. This says startup performance. And line 13 and 14 can be replaced with Emacs init time. 13, 14. Really? Is that right? Oh, I've gotten some allergy situation going on here. All right, so I'm going to use Shift Tab, and you can see that. Did I even turn on outline mode, or is it just on by default? Let's see. Outline minor mode. Yeah, it seems to be on. I don't know if I have that in my config somewhere, but when you turn on outline minor mode, what it does is make it so that you can basically treat your buffer sort of like an org mode buffer, where you can Can I turn on keycast? Do I have that? Is it gonna work? No, of course not. Anyway, you can cycle the headings sort of like you can with org mode, but I think the problem with that is that you can't have multi-level headings and cycle them, if I'm not mistaken. So if you do something like this, yeah, this automatically makes an auto load. I don't know if that's Lispy doing that or something else. Let's see, sub heading. My keys aren't set up perfectly for this, but if I try to do outline cycle that, oh, okay, so it does work as a subheading. That's cool. Yeah, that doesn't work though. I think that was the thing that was kind of strange about that. Captain No Beer says, I suggested the with Emacs script as an alternative to Emacs 2. Yeah, what you call it, YouTube likes to rip out all posts with links. In fact, I probably can see them here. Yeah, they don't even show up. Yeah, YouTube is overzealous when it comes to ripping out links. Yeah, with Emacs by Alpha Papa is definitely an alternative to Emacs 2. I might try that also in the future. And I think I know who you are, so I'm not going to say. So let's see. The next thing would be so there's another package called Outshine Mode that might make this better, but I'm not going to touch that yet until maybe it is a little bit more appropriate time. The first thing that I actually want to do is try to come up with a way to extract the different sections of the document. And the idea would be if I can write org mode like syntax inside of comments, and have it so that you can, let's see, outline magic. Outline cycle is in Emacs 28. Is that right? Is that not even in 27? All right, so doesn't say when it was added. Yeah, I love it when it pops up there. It's great. Yeah, whatever. Let's go back to Firefox. Why is Emacs so much slow? I'm doom. I don't know. There's a number of reasons why Emacs can be slow. Please make a tutorial on making Doom Emacs fast. Doom Emacs should be fast already. Wind Up Boy, I'm using some commit on Emacs 28 master branch, but I don't really remember what it is. It's whatever I have on the Flat Watson Geeks package. Pandemic Russ says, I use Doom Emacs and I watch your video on YouTube about EXWM and I want to integrate EXWM with multi-monitor but not found me with auto-render. You mean auto-render is not working? Yeah, Doom Emacs should be pretty fast. They do a lot of work to optimize that. So, let's see. Yeah, so what I was saying is that I want to be able to write documentation basically inside of the Emacs Lisp file and have it get turned into actual prose in an org mode document, and then the code blocks should actually get turned into, or the sections of code should be turned into code blocks. But the problem is, how do you identify what's supposed to be something that turns into text in the org document and then something that turns into a code block? And my heuristic would probably be that any line of comment that is actually touching a line of code that's not a comment line probably should be considered to be a part of a code block. But that there's various ways that could go wrong. The other thing could be if I have a different convention where anything, well, so if I have 3 semicolon comment lines, it's going to treat all those as headings with outline mode, so that might not work very well. Maybe there's another syntax I could use, like something like this, where it's like 2 comment lines and a hyphen, and then anything I type after that gets turned into an org, stuff in an org file, which probably that's the best way to go for right now. So maybe we can just go with the syntax and see what it does. So I'll try copying whatever prose I have written. If I get past my, come on, my table of contents. So let's do this. I wonder if Alt-Q is going to actually wrap this correctly. Yes, I think so. But it doesn't put in the space, which is a little bit annoying. Okay. So Emacs startup time. So I'm basically just trying to copy the same information. Put another, Oh, come on, dude. Blank line, excuse me, blank line, and then also turn on lexical binding for the init file. So this is sort of what we want to do. We want to have org headings, and let's actually make that a first level heading. Org headings within text that goes inside of a block. And then we can convert this file into a .org file that has this show up as actual text, and then this part show up as code blocks. And then any heading, let's just go ahead and put a star in front because we want it to show up like that. It's sort of a way for us to say, okay, this is like a multi-level heading inside of the file. Crazy Chicken says, I think the hyphen idea is better, or maybe parse different symbols for different labels headers. Yeah, it's possible. A long time ago says, I don't know why VS Code same completion is faster, even it takes more storage, and Doom Emacs slower and lagging makes takes less time than VS Code. Okay, Sherry says they tried to buy a t-shirt last night. This would be a good way to verify whether they're a bot or not. I'll find out. So, Ashra says, what is the goal? The goal is to try to come up with a way to go the opposite direction. Instead of tangling from org to eLisp, go from eLisp to org, basically. All right, so Noble says, I was wondering why the heck you were doing this. Yeah, read the description. It tells a little bit. Wind Up Boy says, if you embed org syntax into the comments, you should be able to strip the semicolons, and the result would be an org file with undelimited source blocks. If you embed org syntax in the comments, you should be able to strip yeah, exactly. That's sort of the idea. Is like, I just want to strip the fronts of the lines off and just put them directly into the file, and I'll also identify any of these lines and turn them into headings in the file as well. So how about we try to write some code that will extract this stuff? Let's pull up another file. Let's see, .emacs, and then Lisp, and we'll call it DW. Well, I was thinking of a name like Meta Literate. Sounds fancy. Let's go with that for now. All right, so defun Meta Literate convert to org. Yeah, let's just go with that for now. And then path, or file path even. All right, so what I want to do is load up a buffer for a file at the file path. I think that there is a, let's see, whoops. Oh, out org. Is that the one I was thinking of before? Out org. Convert source code buffers temporarily to an org mode for comment editing. Okay, yeah. I knew that there was one like this at some point. Sounds like it's for editing comment sections of source code files in temporary org mode buffers, turns conventional literate programming upside down, and the default mode is programming mode. So does it just convert everything to org, period? Or is it only for editing? Because it's basically the same thing, I guess. All right, so I think it's, let's see. Come on. With file, let's see, with buffer, with current buffer, no. There is a macro, I think. Yeah, with current buffer, and then I think it was, I'm trying to think, what was it that I was using before? There was some function I was using for, I'm trying to think what code I was writing that used that. Was it the org stuff? Yeah. Let me see. Notes. Rome number 4. Was it 5? 4? With current buffer. Nah. Similar. Useful to convert code to literate programming. A long time ago says, hey, do you really have blue eyes? Yeah, I do have blue eyes. All right, so with current buffer, let's just be really, really fast about this. Find file, no select. I don't know if that's gonna work, but. And then file path. We're just gonna just blast this out as fast as possible. So inside of with current buffer, let's say there is it research forward? Can I actually, or regex match? Is there like a regex match? Match. When the given expression matches string. John Eastman says you might look at GCMH package rather than messing with setting garbage collection directly. Yeah, I probably should do that. Next match. Rahul says with temp buffer. Yeah, I want to use the actual buffer for the file so I can save it afterward. Or no, that's not true. But still, yeah, I'm gonna load up the buffer for that file basically. Match string. Yeah, so cool. Return string of text matched by the last search. So match string is probably the thing I want. Cap and No Beer will probably yell at me when I do something wrong here. Match string is what we want for pulling things out. Replace regex. I don't know if I would use that or if I would just try to like copy things into the target buffer. File path and let's say output path. I also need that too. So let's see with current. Well, let's see. Do we want to do that? I need to open a buffer for that. So let's say let output buffer. And does find file no select return? Yeah, returns the buffer. Cool. So I can use find file no select. Output path. I probably need to resolve these paths before I try to use them too much, but we'll deal with that later. All right, so we're gonna pull with current buffer, find file no select, file path. So we should have that open now. And then search forward. Research forward. So we'll use research forward. I'm not good with Emacs regular expressions, but we'll see whether that actually turns out to be a problem. Research forward. And then let's see, Emacs regular expression syntax. Probably should pull this up in info so I don't look like a tool here. All right. Info. Search. Regex. How about research? Whatever. Info. We'll go to Emacs. Rebuilder, thank you. Yeah, I need to use that for sure. Where did it show up? Oh, it's here. Okay. Can I quit out of that? How'd I kill it? Okay. Let's kill it without killing the entire Emacs session. Get out of here. Emacs regex is weird. I agree 100%. Emacs regex is really weird. Regex. Pss. All right, syntax regular expressions. Cool. A few characters are special constructs. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Give me some examples. Period is a special character. Okay, so what I want to do, the rebuilder is going to be really helpful for this. So what we're going to do is pull rebuilder here. Dot. Okay. So I want to look at that. So if I can just find lines that start with that, actually, let's start with that. That's better, actually. We'll find those lines. If that's all I need, that's pretty useful, but I still need to find it at the beginning of the line. So, because I don't want to find something like, let's say, that. Let's see if it finds it if I update the... Yeah, okay. So I need to do this at the front of the line. Okay, good. At least that works. Research for space. Maybe. All right, so that should pull, excuse me, those lines. So I want to be able to search for one or the other. And the interesting thing, maybe I need to group it so I can figure out which line that I found. Because I need to find either lines like this or lines like this. But I need to have one regex for it, I think. So let's see if I can figure out how to do, let's see, info buffer. I'm sure it's similar to, yeah, I think it's what, slash. And it could be, that doesn't seem to work. I think I also have to do slashes in front of grouping symbols. Do I have to do 3 slashes or just 2? Hey, Foskers. All right, so grouping, let's see, group. Really, it's not in this list? Quotes special characters, introduces additional special constructs. Okay, so that's probably not right. Group. Oh, okay. Yeah, grouping applies to the largest possible largest possible surrounding expressions. Only the surrounding grouping can limit the grouping power. Okay, so we do need this grouping construct. Fine. So why is this not working now? If I take that out, is it not connected to the buffer anymore? What is happening? Oh. What is happening here? It's like it's eating the things I put in. All right, let's go back to just this again. Okay, that works. But I can't put this in a group somehow? That makes no sense if so. Is it slash slash? Dude. All right, let's go back to this. Now we'll go back to putting the slash in front of it. 2 slashes. Okay, there we go. That works. So now we catch either one of those. And since it's in group 1, it should work. And also what I'll try to do is add another group. RX is more readable? Yes. Probably should use RX instead. Is RX built in now, or is this still need to install as a separate package? All right, so at this point, I will pull everything up until the end of the line. Cool, that's the second group. And I want to eat the white space. So what is the white space character? Is it just /W like always? The asterisk is interpreted as O many. Yeah, you're right. And that too, right? Yeah, you're right. Hold on. Okay, that seems to improve that. Okay, yeah, that takes it now. That's good. And I also want to eat the white space at this point, so. RX has always been built in. Well, that's cool. Okay. Backslash, white space. Character class is C. W for word constituent, space for white space. So is it S space? Yes. Okay. So that should give us the text after the thing. Well, that's the thing. Do I need to have the all the stars? And this needs to be star plus, actually. Interesting. Maybe I don't want to include that. Or only the first star. Maybe I need the first star. And then I need the rest of the stars to make an inference about heading level. So we can go with this for now. So what we're catching here is either the beginning of this line. Is that going to work? That's not going to work. Because that assumes multiple. I wonder what the grouping count is going to be. Well, maybe it's just that. Okay, let's just try this, actually. Make this group also. And then make this plus sign. Okay, so yeah, RX is probably going to be a lot better because I can add better comments in it. But at least we can see now that we got a regular expression that should catch all of this. So we should be able to grab some lines. So that's cool. Let me go back to meta literate. We're going to say research forward. I think I can just paste this in. All right, gotta do some line surgery here. Probably could just use J or something. Okay, so research forward, and that only needs a regular expression. What about bound? Bound is the buffer position that bounds the search. Okay, I don't care about that. Also, no error. I do want to turn that on because I want it to return nil. And what does research forward actually return? So I can check the value. Return. If nil or omitted, emit an error. If it's T, yeah. Return the point. Okay, cool. So I'll be able to tell when research forward, and then I want it to say no error, nil, and then T. So then at this point, I should be able to print out the match string. So I'll only go forward once, and we'll just see what we grab from that. So match string, I believe, is what I want. Come on. Control HF, thank you. Num, great. All right, so is this zero-based indices? Probably it is. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's just call it index number 3. If I run this on the file, it should be able to do that. So meta literate convert to org. And then the file path is going to be no, wrong path. .files.emacs.d init new.el. And then the output file we're not really even using, but let me put one in anyway. So how about .files.emacs.d init.org. I'll clean this up a little bit. Control-Alt-X. Native compilation. So found native compilation. I probably need to actually move the point back. So let's see. In this location, I will do save excursion, which probably, well, it does matter, I think, because the buffer may already be open. So save excursion. What was the, let's see, beginning of buffer, right? Yeah, beginning of buffer. So I just call that first. And let's run it again. All right, cool. So it got startup performance. And what I want to do here also is remove, let's see, substring no properties. Is that what it's called? Substring no properties. Yeah, substring no properties. Run that again. Run that again. Okay, cool. So I got the first heading, startup performance. I can also check and see if it has a heading star. So I can look for, let's see, that's what it returns. I can say message. There's match string no properties. Oh, great. Okay, even better. Thank you for that. Let's just delete that part. Delete that. Match string no properties. This is why it's good to have eLisp experts hanging around in your stream, because then they can save you some time. Okay, so level, and then text. We're just going to try to drop this in and see what we get from it. Let's clone that. And then in this one, we want to have group 1, I think. Run that one more time. Okay, so it pulled the wrong thing. So is it going to be 2? Can't be 2. Can it? Yeah, looks like it. Okay. So 0. I would figure that would be 1. But apparently it's 2. So 0. Anyway, I'm not going to complain. It works. So we at least have the heading stars, and we have the text of the heading. Now, also, I want to hit the next line and see if I can get the text from this comment string. So if I run this again, I need to run this in a loop until I hit nil. So I think there's... Oh, 0 is a whole string. You're right about that. Okay, thanks. Open an ILM buffer. I could do that, but this is working fine for now. So the next thing would be to try to run a loop and grab everything that I can. Now, the thing is, I need to be able to grab the stuff that comes after these lines. Oh, I just noticed that this is actually not picking up that line anymore. Why is that not picking up? Is it because I have... This is wrong anyway. Group 1 includes the comment characters and group 2. The latter is included in the former. Okay, yeah, you're right. So the white space character... Probably yeah, okay, let's leave that alone for now. Yes. Maybe I should make this optional. Is that gonna work? No. Interrogation. All right, let's just ignore that for now. We'll go back to that later and catch it. So the thing I was saying before is I need to know if the line does not actually fall into that and the next line, basically. Beginning of buffer isn't supposed to be called in Lisp code. Well, I mean, sure. What is it supposed to be instead? Let's just see what it calls anyway. Go to care point min. Okay, thanks. Yeah. Let's just fix that. Go, whoops. Come on now. What just happened? Go to care point min. Cool. So, yeah, so here's the problem. We're using this to search forward. I think what I actually need to do is not move the line forward. And I shouldn't let it navigate forward in the document for me. I need to go line by line and see what kind of lines I'm dealing with. So I need to check the current line to see if it matches the regex. And so that I can look at each line individually. Is the regex looking for something after the space? I want to grab the whole text after the first space of the line, basically. So I need to be able to pull that out too. So instead of doing research forward, I probably need to use... There's a match. That's not a string match. So if I grab the current line and use string match on it, Tan Kim says //s star. Yeah. Good point. Still doesn't seem to be working though, which is kind of weird. It would be necessary to use 2 regex, one for the headers and one for non-headers. That's the thing though, is I think that's not gonna work effectively. Don't give Foskers a hard time. I mean, it's good for people to bring things up because, you know, I don't want people to get the wrong impression from looking at what I'm doing if I'm doing it wrong. Hey, take a Kootly. Maybe why it's not matching the empty line. Yeah, well, actually, that's a good point. That's a good point. Boom. You're right. Thanks, Mark. And that still needs to be a star. Okay. So that's better. All right, so then, like I was saying, I need to do a loop, I think. And let me copy this and put it back right here, actually. Just join that in. No. Don't do that. Join, move that up. Hello? You're not gonna move it? Okay, I totally just jacked up my buffer here. Let's do this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. And then go to this, delete that. Nope. Whatever. There we go. Use the count of that at the beginning of the line to infer if it's a header or not. Yeah, this regex pattern is a little bit ridiculous. I should be using RX, but I don't have time right now. It's like the old saying, I don't have time to write a shorter letter. Okay, so what I want to do is loop over every line, get the actual text of the current line, and then use, what was this, string match on that. Then I could still use match string to pull out the stuff in there. So then what I will do is I'll still save the excursion. Go to point min. So tell me about looping structures in Emacs Lisp. I know there's do list, but I think there's a while loop, right? Yeah, there's just a while with a test. Great. So is there a forward line? Move inlines forward. This is probably not the right way to do this. I'm just trying to see if there is a all of cllib. I don't really have much experience with cllib yet, so probably not meant to be used like this, but I can just do it. So while I wonder if I can check the point. So let's say not equal. While the point is not equal to point end, we'll see if this works. This is going to be a little bit messy. Wait, no, is that right? Point end is not known to be defined. Point max, that was the right one. Hugo says Foskers is the new CL guy around. We'll all be CL people sooner rather than later. Okay, so while not blah blah blah, what I'm gonna do now is this thing is right in my face. While not EOBP. Really? Wow. Never seen that one before. But that's cool. EOBP. Yeah, so that's nil here. Cool. Great. So what we're going to use now is, let's just get rid of that outside line. String match regex, and then the string itself, which is going to be regex. Okay, so let's get rid of that too. Whoa, too far. Thanks, Lispy. So string match, and I want to get the current line. So how do I do that? Current line. Somebody shout it out to me. Let's see. Emacs Lisp get current line. The text at the current line. Thing at point line T. Okay, I mean, maybe. Grab current line and buffer. Get current line. No. Yeah, maybe it's just thing at point, right? Buffer substring point at BOL, point at EOL. Okay, yeah, that works. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna grab that here. Buffer substring point at BOL, point at EOL. We can just run that right here. But I need to, so string match, I guess, yeah, okay, that's fine. Line number at POS. Yeah, I want to get the actual text, so Cappen's suggestion worked for that pretty well. Let's just drop this down too for Lisp aesthetics. Exactly. Cappen No Beard is actually my my Copilot instance for Emacs. Ugh. So, that should work for that. Calling string match, and then I need to, let's just go ahead and first forward line. Call that there, which is obviously not the right thing to do, but I'm just going to do that anyway for right now. And then I need to move this check back in. So let's move this right here. And we'll set that up indentation style. Man, I'm having to scroll the stupid chat box is annoying. All right, so I'll get rid of this whole section now, I think. Nope, not that one. That one. Okay. So let's take a look at this function. Save excursion, go to care point min. We're going to loop over every line. We're going to match the string. We're going to print out the matches that we found. And then forward line. So we should be able to tell whether there was any kind of match by looking at, let's say, line text. And then grabbing this match string, no properties 3, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then once we have that, I can check it. If line text, then I can say, this is going to be a little bit annoying, but let's just see. Org. Probably should just start writing out to the output file, but let's do this first. So line text, and if it's not, then I want to do message. Let's just say COD so they line up correctly. I think I don't need to do capital S either. And then for that one, I'm going to use. I probably need to capture that buffer substring. Yes, when string match, that's probably the more efficient way to do that. So, or if, I guess. If is probably better. So how about, let's do this. I know, I have to change what I'm doing, so just hold on a second. So line text, we're gonna grab this and put that here. And then we'll do string match, but here we're actually gonna do if string match. And then if the condition passes, no, not that. Then we'll do something, or actually we'll do this part. And then if it does not match, we will do that. And then go grab that, get it out of here. Okay, that should be okay. So we get the line of text, which is the buffer substring at the current point position. Check the string match. If it does match, then we pull out the heading string or the text string. Match string may not be right if you want to see your empty line comments. Yeah, good point. We'll catch that case in a minute also. And then otherwise, we print out the line itself. So we're just going to write this out to the message buffer, which is going to be ugly, but we'll see what it does. Okay, so number of arguments string match 1. What did I do wrong there? Oh, I need to put in the line text again. You might not want to use buffer substring on each line. Okay, so what should I do in that case? While you tell me, I will run this again. Not enough arguments for format string. Where did I do that? Okay, good. Fine. Line text. Thank you. Boom. All right, so we're writing some stuff out now. See how bad that hosed my whole Emacs setup. All right. Whoa. Oh, okay. We ran out of space. So now it's probably a good time to start writing to the buffer. So what I'll do in that case is, let's open up. See, that's the thing. I need to use with current buffer. Well, only when I'm writing the buffer. That's how that's going to work. So in this case, I'm going to use with current buffer match against buffer text with research forward looking at. Yeah, the thing is with research forward, I need to, I don't have control over whether I'm looking at lines that match or not match. I think it only finds the next line that matches. So I'm skipping over everything else that doesn't match the regular expression. So I'm trying to avoid that. Okay, so save excursion, go to care. Trying to regain my thought process. So what I'll do with current buffer, and the buffer I had was output buffer. And here I will, yeah, so here's the other problem we have. When we start writing out a code block, we have to save what state we're in so that we can write out the following lines inside of the code block. But you know what? Let's just do what we're doing here. Here's what we'll do. Format, insert. What the hell? This one? Okay. Insert. That should be enough to check it out. And I should be able to pull up that buffer and take a look at it. I also need to, right here with current buffer, output buffer, was delete region. Delete region, let me put the point min, point max. Yeah, okay. Point min, point max. So I just want to clean that buffer out first. Space between format and cod. Oh, thank you. Good call, Tay and Kim. Copy the whole buffer. Copy the whole buffer and modify the copy and paste. If you plan to modify the buffer, then yes, probably. So yeah, that might be a better way to do it, actually. So we'll do that in just a second. So yeah, copy the entire buffer to the output and then just use regex replace to switch everything around. We still need to maybe maintain some state for that. Minimal state machine, 2 states, in code, in text, add begin source on state switch. Yes. Yeah, you need to do something like that for sure. All right, so now I should be able to write this out to the output buffer. Okay, what is it not like? Args out of range, match string. What did I do wrong? Format org s, what? I should probably just make this bigger. What you think? I made it very unhappy somehow. Did I screw up the with current buffer, output buffer? I may have screwed up the status or the state for the. No. I did no. That's not right, is it? Line text. Okay, that should be fine actually. So what does it not like? Save match data. What's that do? Oh, it keeps it so it doesn't overwrite the user's own save data. Okay, the match data. Yeah, I didn't know about that one. Thanks. Match string, no properties, args out of range. What is the problem? Oh, hold on a second. Wait. Num optional string. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. The issue with the blank line? Oh. That's a good point, Mark. That's a good point. Very good point. Okay, so is there like a match? Is there a way I can catch how many groups are in the match? Match data? Trying to list describing what the last search matched. Match beginning, match end. Turn position of the end of text matched by last search. No, that's not what I want. Okay, so the empty line thing is a problem, I think, because this may be returning nil. Still, it seems wrong, though. If it returns nil, it's not a problem. So why is it giving me the weird stack trace? Format org. This doesn't make sense. Oh, okay. Yeah, now it does make sense. Arg's out of range. 480. So yeah, the index is not matching. Anybody know? You need to pass a string. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so make an empty string. Okay, yep. That's absolutely right. Okay, so now I can save that. Still arg's out of range. That was supposed to make the default value, right? String should be given if the last search was by string match on string. String is nil. Oh, that's the string that we matched on. Okay, gotcha. The same string. Line text, right? Does it store it with respect to that? Yeah, okay. It's doing something now. Very slowly. Okay, so what about init.org? Why is it taking so long? Hello? Is the stream frozen for anybody? Because I have no idea why all of a sudden Emacs got totally hung. Let's see. Yeah, it's weird that Emacs is totally locked up at the moment. I don't know what I did wrong to upset it. SOS. Okay, so let's see. I need to send a kill signal, but I can't actually do that because if I change to a TTY right now, it's gonna totally hose everything. Well, we may just have to chat for the rest of the allotted time because I think I totally broke Emacs. The interesting thing is that I can still scroll, which means that somebody's handling the mouse events. So Wind Up Boy says, I've noticed that Emacs 28 makes these hangs once in a while. I think it's GC related. Well, this thing is totally locked up. I think there's a deadlock somewhere. I have no idea why it would be deadlocked just trying to switch to a buffer, but I must have done something with the way I wrote that code. Yeah, well, I don't get the impression that this is going to release anytime soon. And I can't even like switch workspaces. I can't do anything at the moment. Yeah, I guess this is why I should not be using EXWM on streams, because if anything goes wrong, look at the process output table. I can't. That's the problem. I can't do anything. If I switch to a TTY, then the stream is going to break. Oh yeah, I'm spamming Control G. Like, can you hear that? Not doing anything. The whole creative file is a single line. Yeah, you're right, actually. Well, who knows? Maybe eventually it will come back. Okay, whoa. Now I've lost the ability to scroll, probably because I hit Control G so many times. In construction, we say beat the paint. All right. Wow. Yeah, something's happening because I think the mouse events are slowly going through. So do you think it's possible that it's in an infinite loop? Like the loop that I wrote is not actually terminating. And I just happened to get into a state where opening the output file made the problem worse because the line is just getting longer and longer and longer. Fosker says SSH into yourself from another machine. Yeah, that'd be great if I had SSH server turned on. I should probably do that to save myself from these kinds of idiotic problems. Let's see. Let's think creatively for a second. Can't even scroll down. It's really annoying. Yeah, I don't even know what the IP address for this machine is. If I were to actually try to SSH into it, if I had it set up. Let me pull up my other computer and see if I ever did turn that on. So not exactly the outcome you hope for whenever you join this stream today, I take it. Let me just check my config. SSH, yeah. Open SS, yeah, I don't start any SSH server. That is a lot of fun. So let's see, what can I do here? I could try to kill the stream and come right back like I did last time, because I did kill the stream that day. So what I'll do is I'm gonna kill my Emacs session and I'll bring the stream back up. It won't be on the same stream on YouTube. You'll have to go to the System Crafters page and see whenever the new stream pops up, but it should pop up in just a second. So yeah, just wait for a moment and I'll be right back. Sorry about that, folks. It's a little bit annoying for me too. All right, I'm gonna switch TTY.